Hey, hey, hey. Have you had your dose of pep today? No? Don't worry. I got you. Let's go. Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 19 of the Pep Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Coach Jay. And the mission of this podcast is to cheer you on and to coach you up. I cannot believe that we are on episode 19. We're almost at episode 20. And the percentage of new podcasts that make it to episode 20, it's small when compared to the number of podcasts that are started every year. There is a very, very small number of them that ever get to episode 20. So for us to be one episode away, I am really, really humbled. And it's not something that I take for granted, being able to come to you all every Monday with this podcast and try to bring some light, some encouragement, some pep to start your week. It is a privilege and it is an honor for everyone who reaches out on social media, email. Y'all, I appreciate you so very much. And I encourage you to keep spreading the word about the podcast. This has just been a really, really fun ride. And I have enjoyed so much being able to take it with each and every one of you. So it's May, and it is officially graduation season. In our house, preparations are being made because our firstborn is going to be a graduate. And we are both really excited about this next phase of her life. And we're also kind of sad because, you know, she'll be moving on to campus come summer. And I know that's months away. And trust me, I'm not hurrying the time. But we are definitely in a season of celebration. To see all of the high school students and the college students, postgraduate students, leaving a stage of life and elevating into a different stage, a different season. It's had me thinking a lot about how we graduate from one season to the next. And maybe you are a graduate. And I would venture to say that most of you out there are graduating in some shape, form, or fashion. You're elevating. Maybe you are graduating in your responsibilities on your job. Maybe you're graduating in the number of people in your family. Maybe you're graduating in your mindset. Maybe, listening to the podcast and doing the work on your own. Maybe you've been seeing a therapist. I don't know what you've been doing in a season of personal growth, but maybe you're graduating from one level of how you see yourself or your abilities, or one level in the pursuit of your dream, or maybe one level in your business revenue. I don't know what it is, but you're in a season of graduation. And I would venture to say that if most of you out there are really listening, or really looking at your lives, you would see that there is some celebration to be had because you are graduating. And so we want to celebrate you for that. And on this episode, I want to talk to the graduates. So graduates from high school, college. If you're graduating from one season of life to another, then you are included in this number. I want to talk to the graduates. Something that I used to do is I would always write a song for the graduates, or I would write a poem for them. That's something that I got from my dad, who is still the poet laureate, the one that I recognize anyway. And so I used to write poems or write songs. And a few years ago, one of my classes of graduates was graduating, and I wrote a song for them called As You Go and As You Go. And it's a song that in every graduation since then, I've thought about it and I hum it. I'm not going to sing it for y'all. It's okay. You're not missing anything. But maybe I'll put a link to the song because it is on SoundCloud, I believe. But I want to talk to you all just for a little bit today. When we come back out on the other side of this break, I want to give you 5 things to really help you maximize this graduated season of your life. And I believe that these 5 things, these 5 tools, these 5 resources will really help you to have the mindset and the heart set to maximize what comes next. And so I'm going to ask you up front, okay, if you know a graduate, share this episode with them. And if they know a graduate, share it with them as well. I believe that these are 5 steps which will really help anybody who's graduating, whether from high school into college, from college into life, or from life stage to life stage. These 5 steps will be really integral to helping you maximize this graduated season of your life. So when we come back with episode 19 of the Pep Talk podcast, I'm going to talk to you from the topic of, and as you go. I like that. And as you go, here are 5 steps to help you maximize what comes next. So, jam to the music, people. We will be right back. And we're back, episode 19 of the Pep Talk podcast. I'm your host, Coach Jay, and today we're talking to graduates, or anybody graduating from one season of life or one level to the next. I want to give you 5 tips for maximizing this next season of your life. I think it's important that when we move from one stage of life, from one season to the next, we look out over it and see what we think it's going to take in order to maximize it. Because if we're not going to maximize whatever season we find ourselves in, then what are we doing? And I mean, maximizing does not have to be from a monetary or a financial standpoint. I think that's where we mess up, is that we're so focused on the money that might come with the graduation and stage, the maturation, that we miss out on the real indicators of how we can truly maximize our character, our integrity, our motivation, all of these other things that are more important than money, which can lead to a more fulfilled life. Now, before I jump into these 5 steps for maximizing this next level in your life, I do want to say something that I think often goes unsaid. And it's that anytime you graduate from one stage or move from one level to the next, there are going to be new expectations placed on you. And I need to talk about expectations here quickly, because in our society, it feels like increasingly people view expectation as a dirty word. However, I think expectation is good. Expectation brings pressure, but that pressure is not designed to crush you. I believe that the pressure of expectation is designed to refine you. I think about how diamonds are made. I don't remember the exact PSI that coal has to be under before it transforms into a diamond. But there is this ratio of pressure to heat, which turns coal from the black lumps that we see into the brilliant, dazzling diamonds that we go crazy about. But that only comes from the pressure and the heat. And expectation is a good thing, because it brings that pressure and that heat into our lives. So many people talk about how they don't want any expectations placed on their lives. And I would just challenge you that if you feel that way, to really think long and hard about it. Because without expectations, many times we don't have goals to shoot for. And expectations can help us to grow from that standpoint. All right, now that being said, let's transition into step number 1 for maximizing this graduated season of life. And again, we're talking to anybody who's graduating high school, college. Maybe you're graduating in your adulthood, in your parenthood, in your mindset. However you're graduating, this first step is a great one. And this first step is to guard your heart. Now, why am I telling you to guard your heart? I'm telling you to guard your heart because it is your heart that provides a lens for how you view the world. And it's also your heart that provides a lens for how you view yourself. If you know people who've had their heart broken, something in them changes about how they view the world and how they view themselves. If you know someone who's dealt with disappointment after disappointment, how they view themselves and how they view the world, their sense of identity begins to get skewed. So it's so important that as you are growing and you're going and you're graduating from one season to the next, you're guarding your heart. You're guarding what you're taking in. You're guarding who you give your heart away to. You are careful about who you are allowing into your heart and what you're allowing into your heart, because everything in this world does not mean you good. Everybody in this world is not rooting for you to win. And you have to be discerning when dealing with people and situations so that you know the people who are there to help you from the people who are there to hurt you. So step one, guard your heart. And how this helps you to maximize your life is that the more good you welcome into your heart, the better your perspective will be. When people are giving you helpful criticism, you don't look at it as if they're coming at you and then you begin to harbor offense. When you have a good heart set, it's easier for you to find a way to forgive and move forward. When you have a good heart set, even when obstacles and challenges come your way, having good vibrations, good vibes, good energy, good faith in your heart enables you to find ways around those obstacles and to ultimately overcome them. So guard your heart. That's step one. Step two is to guard your words. Step two is to guard your words. Graduates, it has always been said that the life we live today is based upon the words that we said in the past, and the life we live in the future will be based on the words that we say today. I believe that the power of life and death is in the tongue. Yes, that's from the Bible. That is personally what I believe. And science and psychology bears that out. The words that we use have power to shape our realities, to shape our goals, to shape our expectations. And so it's very, very important that the words that you speak are words that are encouraging you and are edifying you and are inspiring you. But not just that. The words that you speak need to be edifying to other people. Nobody wants to be around somebody who is a sad sack speaking, sadness and despair and the sky is falling, Chicken Little. Come on. Nobody wants to be around that kind of a person for any extended amount of time. And if you think of your words as seed, every word that you say is planting something into the ground, the fruit of which you will have to eat at some point. So if every word that you're saying right now about yourself is negative, don't be surprised when negative fruit begins to sprout in your life. If negative situations begin to sprout in your life, it is because, and we can trace it back, it's because the words that you were saying about yourself and about your future life have been negative. So you have to eat that fruit. Now, if you don't want to eat the fruit of negativity in your life, then I would advise you to guard your words and to speak those things that are positive, that are faith-filled, those things that you actually want to see happen in your life. Affirmations can help you with this. I rely on scripture, but whatever you do, the words that you speak, if you recognize them as seed, then I think you'll be a lot more conscious about what you're saying, knowing that at some point in your life, you are going to have to eat the fruit of the words that you say. Now, the way that this helps you to maximize your life, it's simple. You don't want to speak yourself into a horrible life. You don't want to speak yourself into a horrible existence. You don't want to speak yourself into being single and lonely all the days of your life. So, to avoid that, speak words of faith that are leading toward positive fruits in your life and in the lives of others. Step number 3 for maximizing this graduating season of your life is to guard your dreams. And y'all, I cannot say enough about this, but I'm going to start with the simple statement. You were born with a dream. It was placed inside of you. I believe it was placed inside of you by God. And it's a dream that is not just for you, but it's for you and for generations of people beyond you. It's for people that you're supposed to reach, work that you are supposed to do. And oftentimes the full scope of our dreams, they scare us. And as you're thinking about graduating and moving into a new season of life, and sometimes your dreams will become clearer, but sometimes they will become more convoluted. You may have an idea of what you want to major in when you go into college, but when you get there and you start moving around, that dream may shift some. I know majors shift. A lot of people are not even working in the degree program that they graduated from. I could tell you that I'm not. I graduated with a degree in vocal performance, but I'm a teacher. That's like, I'm not even a music teacher at that. So prepare for the major to change, right? However, the major may change, the dream is still the dream. And here's what I want to tell you about guarding your dream. We always talk about being careful about sharing your dream with the wrong person. But I also want to encourage you to not be so strict and tight-fisted with your dream that you're not willing to give it away, tell people, the right people. Because I believe that there are people out there who are there for the express purpose of helping you accomplish your dream. I believe that there are people that you will share your podcast idea with. You'll share your YouTube channel idea with. You will share your business plan with, or whatever the scope of your dream is, and they will want to help you. The reason many of you have not accomplished your dreams is because you've been grinding and working yourself to the bones in a vacuum, not understanding that dreams don't come true in a vacuum. They don't come true because you've worked yourself to the bone in solitude. At some point, you have to allow the right person to come beside you to help you accomplish that dream that's on your heart. I promise you, y'all, there are people in this world, people in your community, people you haven't even met yet, who are going to hear you, who are going to listen to you, maybe in passing, maybe through the words of someone that you've touched. They are going to want to link up with you. They are going to want to work with you. That's why I tell people on social media, it doesn't matter how many people watch your videos. It doesn't matter if it goes viral or if one person watches it. All it takes is one person to see it and to like it, and then you're off to the races. It only takes one person to listen to the podcast for it to become an instant, quote unquote, instant viral success. It only takes one person. You're 1 degree away, one listener away, one conversation away, and finding the right person that you can trust with your dream can change the trajectory of your life. Now, I know we focus in on the people that we tell our dreams to, and they speak negatively about the dream, and we allow their negativity and their toxicity to infect the dream. So yes, you have to be careful who you share with. But even in the sense where you share your dream with the wrong person, I do strongly believe that if you hold on to your dream and if you are authentic to the dream that's been placed in your life, no amount of negativity can overcome that dream. It's just important that no matter who doesn't believe in your dream, make sure that you're not one of them. Make sure that if you are facing an entire choir of people who are speaking negatively about what you feel you are called to do, don't let your voice be one of them. Don't be that person who is joining in with the noise that is outside of you, that is urging you to give up, to change course, whatever. If your dream is your dream, then you work your dream, you believe in your dream, you find the right people to partner with you in your dream, you sow into the dreams of others. And in doing that, you are building up positive equity for the fulfillment of your own dream. You have to believe in your dream. No matter who else doesn't believe, you be that advocate for your own self. And then trust me, the people that you need to come alongside you, they will find you if you talk it up enough. Share the dream. All right, so we've talked about steps 1, 2, and 3. Guard your heart is step 1. Guard your words are step 2. Guard your dream, step 3. We're talking about 5 ways to maximize this next season of life, this graduated season of life. When we come back, I'm going to give you steps number 4 and 5, and we're going to wrap the podcast. This is episode 19 of the Pep Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Coach Jay. We will be right back. All right, we're back. Episode 19, Pep Talk Podcast. We are talking to graduates. And all of us are graduating, right? None of us are stagnant. We're all graduating. And I'm giving you 5 steps to maximizing this graduating season, these graduating moments. And so far, we've talked about 3 of them: guarding your heart, guarding your words, and guarding your dreams. So here's step number 4. Step number 4 is don't disqualify yourself. Now, I know I'm the only person who has not lived a perfect life with this podcast. I understand it's just on me. Maybe all of y'all can't relate. I understand. But just in case you can, you're going to mess up. Graduates, you're going to get into college. You're going to be enjoying that college life. You may not be doing so well at midterms. I get it. I've been there. Person graduating into a new career or getting that promotion, you're going to mess something up. And there will be a moment in that mess up where the voices in your head will begin telling you that you are unworthy, that you shouldn't be at that school, you shouldn't be in that major, everybody else is better than you, nobody else would have messed this up except you. We are so good at disqualifying our own selves. And we are so good at allowing other people to disqualify us. But mainly, we disqualify ourselves before anybody else has an opportunity to disqualify us. And that is a defense mechanism. Let's call it what it is. If we can disqualify ourselves first, then the rejection of somebody else disqualifying us doesn't sting quite as much, because we already feel the way that they are, possibly making us feel with their words. But let me tell you, where you are, where you find yourself is where you should be. Can we normalize thinking and believing that where we are is where we are supposed to be at that moment in life? So maybe it's that college, it's that job, it's that promotion, it's that nonprofit, whatever it is, where you are is where you are. Don't disqualify yourself. Don't knock yourself out of the race before it even begins because you can't get your mind right. Don't self-sabotage yourself in that new position because you had a bad day or a bad week. We have to build resilience in everything that we're doing. We have to build resilience in order to overcome the thoughts that want to disqualify us. When you can qualify yourself by the way that you're thinking and the way that you feel about yourself in your heart, there is nothing that somebody can say against you that will get you to give up. That's just the facts. You have to learn that the trials and tribulations are going to come. But the people who come out on the other side of those times refuse to allow themselves to be defined by their good days and by their worst days. They define themselves based on who they are. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. But they refuse to allow themselves to be disqualified because they know in their heart that they belong. I need you to know in your heart that you belong, because you do. You belong because you do. I'm going to say it again because somebody needs to hear this. You belong because you do. And the only way you're going to be able to maximize what's coming at you in this next stage of life is by believing that you belong where you are. No matter the mistakes that you make, no matter anything else, where you are is where you should be. And you just work yourself and you grow while you're there. You plant yourself and you grow while you are there, and you'll be good. I believe in you. Believe in you too. All right, step 5. Step 5 is to remember who you are. We have had a podcast episode about identity already, so I don't need to go in depth into this one. You just need to go back and listen to that episode. But here's what I want to tell you. And I think I've talked about this part on The Lion King, where, Nala has come looking for Simba, looking for help. Pride lands are destroyed. Scar and his hyenas have destroyed it. And so Nala finds Simba, and he's chilling with Timon and Pumbaa, living his best life. And they have the happy, joy moment, and then they have the serious moment where they have noticed, they know that they've fallen in love. But now Nala has to talk about the real stuff, and she's like, Simba, you've got to come home. You're the king. And Simba's like, I'm not the king anymore. I left that life behind. That is not who I am. And she's like, but Simba, you are the king. They need you. And Simba's like, no, I'm not the king. And he storms off. And he stumbles across Rafiki, and Rafiki's like, I know you. Do you know yourself? Rafiki's laughing. He said, I know where your father is. And Simba's like, my father's dead. He's like, no, your father is alive. And so Simba finds himself at this body of water, and he looks at himself and sees his reflection. And then Rafiki hits the water, and in the ripple, Simba's reflection turns into Mufasa. And then the clouds darken, and we have this image of Mufasa form in the clouds, and he is looking at Simba. Simba's looking at him, and he says, remember, you are my son. And he just says, remember. Some of you listening to this episode, you have forgotten how powerful you are. You have forgotten how gifted you are. You have forgotten how talented and brilliant you are. You have forgotten who you are. And I am charging you now to remember. I am charging you now to grab on to your sense of identity. I pull mine from my faith in God. Wherever you pull yours from, pull your identity together, identify it, and hold on. The world will tell you, society will tell you everything to do to find your identity, but it's not that hard. It's not that difficult. It's in you. It's in there. You just have to realize it. You have to remember it. You have to accept it and not allow another human being to define you. But define yourself. Just remember who you are. You are that king. You are that queen. You are that capable person who can do all of these incredible things, the likes of which some of the things we've never seen in this life. And as you were graduating into this next season of life, graduates class of 2023 and everybody else who's graduating right now, you have to remember who you are. You have to guard your heart, guard your words, guard your dreams. Don't disqualify yourself, and remember, because there is no maximizing of this next season of life if you are unsure of who you are. Do you hear me out there? I'm saying this with all my passion. I'm saying this with all my love. You need to hear this, and so I'm giving this to you. I need you to share this. Oh my gosh, I need you to share it. I need you to share this, because somebody in your friend group needs to hear this. As you go, there are great things for you to do, greater things than you've even ever thought of before in your life, greater things that you've ever thought that you could accomplish. But they're there for the taking. You've just got to remember who you are. All right, our quote of the day is from acclaimed writer Ralph Waldo Emerson, and it simply says this: what lies behind us and what lies before us are small matters compared to what lies within us. Yeah. You know what? Since it's graduation season, I'm going to give you a second one from Kerry Washington. Your life is your story, and the adventure ahead of you is the journey to fulfill your own purpose and potential. Graduates, listen to me. There is greatness within you. There is greatness before you. There is greatness around you. And there are people who believe in you. This world needs what you have to offer. And so I charge you as you go forth. Enjoy life. Be great. And always remember to give back. Always. All right. Y'all, this has been episode 19 of the Pep Talk podcast. I have enjoyed sharing this information with you. And y'all do me a favor again. Please spread this with your graduates, the people that you love, the graduates in your life. And if you were graduating from a level to the next, then I applaud you. Keep working hard. Keep grinding. The Pep Talk podcast, we believe in you. All right? We believe in you. So believe in yourself and just go do great things. Go do great things. Remember, you can catch us on any of your favorite podcast providers: Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio Podcasts, and Amazon Podcast. Reach out to us at thepeppodcast@gmail.com. You can find us at Pep Talk Pod on TikTok, where we're loading content almost every day, and on Instagram @_JB Speaks. Hey, remember to rate, review, share, comment, all those things. Please, 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 we need you to spread the word. And next week, y'all, is episode 20. I am so excited to share it with you. Please come back. And remember, keep it love, keep it light, and keep it peppy. We'll see you next time. Be blessed.